First guest today, we have Mr. Link Savoie. He's out of Sunset. He's also was the All-American State Commander of the Department of Labor VFW during 2003-2004. And since then, he's been an active advocate for the veterans here in the local area as well as throughout the state if a veteran needs help. So, Mr. Savoie, how you doing, my friend?
Morning, Greg.
Pretty
nice
good.
to have me. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Well, look, my friend, just what is it that you bring to Acadiana as far as the services and things you do for Acadiana veterans?
Well, I work specifically out of St. Landry Parish.
Yes.
I'm a retired law enforcement person from the military. Mm-hmm. And after 22 years of serving active duty, I retired. And in 1980, I became, in addition to my regular job, I became a volunteer veterans advocate.
Okay.
And I really took it to heart and got a lot of results out of it, because being a victim, it makes it easier to explain. So I just opened myself up and I established a very good rapport with the TV stations in Acadiana and the radio stations and the newspapers.
Right.
And then I started it's called Veterans Corner column in the newspapers, and I think my column runs in probably 8 or 9 different papers in Louisiana.
Okay.
I write about veterans in local and state and national and international things, but mostly it's about veterans.
Yes.
I jotted down a few things that I do in St. Landry Parish that equates to the rest of the state or the nation.
Yeah.
And one thing is to get the veterans to understand that there is a veteran service officer in every parish in the state of Louisiana.
Yes.
And every
that's true.
county
That's true.
in every state.
Not many know that.
Then most of them didn't know that.
Right.
A lot of guys don't know it. So now we're on Cherry Street in St. Landry Parish, a very nice place. But you've got to get them to have confidence in you, actually, as an advocate.
Yes.
Because once you tell them, no, I don't work for anyone, I don't sign a time card, I don't get paid, it's from my heart. So therefore, you can call me any time of the day and night,
Right.
7 days a week, and I will be happy to assist if I can help. What I do is I try to open doors to veterans who have fallen through the crack and who have gotten disgruntled.
Yes, I can appreciate
In the
that very much.
process, certainly. And I've been to homes. I go out as a good friend, Don Cravens from Opelousas, would say, do you do that on your own quarter? Yes, I do. And it's taken quite a few quarters, but it's come back. It's made me feel so good.
Right, self-satisfaction.
My biggest thing is letting them know that there is a veteran service officer in every parish in Louisiana, and their locations. And I appear on television KGCG, at least once a week in Opelousas. And
I saw you there the other day.
You and I met there the other day. It was a pleasure meeting you then. I had heard of you, but big guys you can't miss. But anyway, I'm on that television program, and we get things out to the veterans then. Another thing is that we have a little veterans committee in St. Landry Parish. And we've done really, really well in getting a whole lot of things done, but very low key. We don't look for notoriety, except we expect the veterans to adhere to what we ask them to do and the information that we do have. What we did, we tackled the Veterans Honor Medal, which was passed by the legislatures in 2008.
I don't know. What is that?
The Louisiana Veterans Honor Medal is a bill that was passed in 2008 by the Louisiana legislature, giving every veteran in Louisiana an honor medal.
Okay.
It's a beautiful thing. And there's 3 different honor medals, one for the regular service, one for the Purple Heart, and one for the deceased. So what we've done in St. Landry Parish, we've disseminated in every municipality, every city hall, a folder with that particular application in it. So in lieu of going to the Veterans Administration Office in Opelousas, anyone throughout the parish can go to his local municipal city hall, pick up an application, fill it out, get a copy of DD Form 214 and send it into the VA office in Baton Rouge, and they in turn will send you a medal.
Okay.
Very simple. It's something that's another benefit. In addition to that, we have an honor guard, which is geographically located in Port Barry. And we have a little deal with all the funeral homes in St. Landry Parish that as soon as a veteran's name pops up, they contact this particular person, and they in turn offer their services for a free military funeral
Okay, that's
in
very good to
St.
know.
Andrew
That's
Parish,
very good to
which
know.
is, it keeps them busy.
Yes.
It really keeps them busy. Another thing we do is that we visit, we have 70 veterans, 70 or 75 veterans in 7 different nursing homes in St. Andrew Parish, and we visit them regularly, hopefully on their birthdays.
Yes, try to-
Or, yeah, so
Give them support,
just
yeah.
some kind of support, just to visit.
Yes.
A morale factor that's one of the bigger. Another one is that we also volunteer to install flagpoles. To any business that wants to buy the flagpole, we've got the ways and means of getting the flagpole. If the business pays for it, we install a flagpole, and there it is. The most recent one we installed was the Heritage Manor Nursing Home on I-49 North. So we do that, and let's see, there's TV shows, no, the field reps. Now, all the congressional people in our district have field reps, and
Okay.
they work out of mostly Lafayette and Lake Charles. Now, we have very good rapport with the field reps because on my little TV program in Opelousas and in the Daily World and in the Advertiser and other smaller papers that's printed in Louisiana, I give them a telephone number and my address. If there's a need for you or a family that wants their husbands or relatives to receive all of their medals at one time, but I just find sign a privacy act. I give it to one of our field reps for one of the congressional delegates, and they in turn take it from there, right off, and get all the medals that they need, and they come back, and then there's a little ceremony. Some families don't want a ceremony.
Well, so basically you work with our legislative senators and.
Oh, yes, all of our
Bustani
people,
and,
Bustani, Vitter, Mary
Landrieu
Landrieu,
and
yeah.
the rest of them, yeah.
Certainly, and it's good, because if we run into a large problem, then we just turn that over to the congressional delegation field rep, and and whenever they make an inquiry, that white flag goes up.
Right,
And
right.
people somewhere up the country pays attention
And
to the
I
white
do
flag.
know that when a veteran comes to you sometimes with special needs, if it means contacting those resources, you'll open the door.
Oh, you bet, you bet. I believe in opening that door. One of my biggest things is this, and I have been a veterans advocate since 1980, plus my 22 years on active duty. But I brought this little thing back from Vietnam with me called Agent Orange. And
Okay.
that's one of the things that I'm really getting the veterans to do. Go take your Agent Orange test.
Right.
It can. There's conflicting stories. I get emails and I write columns about getting your Agent Orange test. I might get a letter from a friend of mine in Minnesota saying that his doctor says that there is no such thing. Believe me. Fortunately, I took my yearly exam at the VA in Alexandria yearly until 2006. My doctor told me, she says, I noticed that your white blood cells were a little bit elevated, et cetera, so we need to take a test. Long story short, I was diagnosed with chronic lymphocenic leukemia, which is a derivative of Agent Orange,
Agent Orange, yes.
in 2007. So that being service connected, I received and pursued 100% visibility, which I did get. Fortunately, it was not the acute type. So the doctor says, well, you're lucky. I said, okay, you've got a blood disease, it's called cancer, and you call lucky. But that's what I use when I pitch my spiel about taking the Agent Orange test.
Right, well, that's one thing that's very important.
You've got to take it. So therefore, I don't take chemo, I don't take any medication. My white blood cells stays within a certain point. Every 3 months, I take a blood test, and that's what I explain to the guys. I take an average of 5 or 6 guys to the VA clinic, VA hospital, every month. Just getting the Agent Orange test, because first thing the doctor asked me, did you have any children after you returned from Vietnam? Certainly I did, my whole family. So each one of those had to get tested. Because
transferable?
It's passed down, so they all were okay with that. But then there are some people who are just a little bit too proud to take the Agent Orange test. So I shame them by doing this. What about your children? And then it's okay. They take the test. So we're happy with that. But we continue on a daily basis. One thing that we just recently happened to do in St. Andrew Parish was the Gold Star Mothers. We coordinated with the city of Opelousas, and they passed an ordinance that they would go ahead and sponsor the Agent Orange, the Gold Star Mothers plaque. So I collected, took about a week. I picked up about $5,000 or $6,000 in St. Henry Parish. We made a beautiful plaque commemorating the Gold Star families from St. Henry Parish. And the Gold Star families are the families who lost a child on the battlefield. And the Blue Stars are those who have served, who are serving in the combat area. So, and then we had enough money left over for a real nice sign for the entrance of 190 coming into Opelousas, and we've got other entrance signs.
Well, I'm sure you're not the only organization that is doing that. I'm sure you must be doing it in other parishes as well.
Other parishes should be, and we're trying to use St. Andrew Parish as the one to look up to, to get things done, and there's no reason why there shouldn't be someone in every parish doing that, and there is. It's just that we brag about it more.
Wow.
Because I think we've just about got 95% of the veterans in St. Henry Parish who has received their Louisiana Honor Medal. Now you're looking at, that's quite a job. You're looking at deceased, living.
A large group.
Large group, all the way back to World War I.
Oh my gosh.
So that was quite an undertaking.
Okay.
But we're trying to get 100% participation of the veterans to get the Louisiana Honor Medal. So that would be a first.
Well, I tell you what, I know in talking with veterans, some of the older veterans around our age group, they don't want to mess with the VA. I mean, but we.
That's true.
We are trying our best to.
It's understandable.
Yes.
It's understandable because fortunately I speak French. So therefore I've got 2 feet on. I've got feet in the door then. And then when I knock on the door or I get a call from someone who starts off speaking English and then I answer to them in French, I could tell the accent. This is okay. So we get in these veterans that has fallen through the cracks, who has given up.
Well, I tell you what, though, I like to let the veterans know that we are here.
You bet.
To help you in any way possible. Mr. Savoie here, I'm sure will not refuse any veteran that calls them, whether he's in Acadian, Lafayette, or in the Acadian area.
Makes no difference.
It makes no difference. So we are here. But I would like to thank you for participating today with us.
Well, this was a
sharing
privilege. I appreciate your call, Greg. Really did.
So if everything goes well, we can get Mr. Savoie back to inform us about some other information that he wishes to share with us. And in doing so, we will end this conversation on a happy note.
If there's a need, my phone number is in the book.
That's right.
It's Lincoln Savoie in Sunset, 662-7283. Please give me a call. Whatever language you speak, we will understand if there's a need.
Okay. Well, that ends this segment. We'll be right back. Thank you.